keeping you up to date with all the latest and breaking news within WWE. Hi, welcome to Steve Chats Wrestling, hashtag SCW the Wrestling Channel here on YouTube.com. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video. Subscribe right now if you haven't already. Like and share the video as well. All brought to you by ringsidenews.com. Now, just to begin with quickly, I've seen a lot of things on the internet regarding John Cena and The Undertaker, and I want just to quickly say that not to believe anything with regards to that match not happening at WrestleMania. I'm in full belief that John Cena and The Undertaker will be squaring off at this year's WrestleMania, and I expect the WWE Championship, that's right, the name has been changed back to the WWE Championship from the WWE World Championship. It's been brought to Newslight, by the way. So for the WWE Championship, it will be John Cena and The Undertaker at this year's WrestleMania. I do not believe anything different in regards to whether the WWE are on great terms with John Cena or not, whether he's going off to film or not. John Cena will still be in that match. No plans will be any different, I can guarantee. Now, the only rumour that I thought might have some legitimacy is that there could be rumours that John Cena may win the belt from AJ Styles instead of The Undertaker. Now, if that does happen, I'd be quite disappointed because I believe that John Cena, if he's going to tie this record, it should be at the biggest stage of all of them. It should be at WrestleMania. It shouldn't be just the fact that The Undertaker gets retired at one show. It should be also the fact that Cena makes history at the same time. For me, Undertaker would be the guy, should be walking in as the champion. He should have one more run with the belt. I believe it's only fair for the loyal service The Undertaker's given over, 26 years. I believe that The Undertaker, John Cena, Taker should walk in as champion. He should be the one to beat AJ Styles, and then maybe John Cena could finally have that heel turn, because if the rumours are suggesting that John Cena is not the main guy in WWE anymore, they won't care about turning him heel. So for me personally, I actually believe that would be the best way going forward. I'm still not convinced that Cena would go in as a heel or come out of it as a heel, but I believe that match is going to put WrestleMania regardless of what you read on the internet. So there we go. That's me, got that off my chest very early on. So let's go into the rest of the news as well. Of course, all brought via ringsidenews.com, so I haven't got to keep repeating myself. Mickie James has actually signed a multi-year deal with WWE. In regards to which brand she'll be working on, she'll be working on the SmackDown brand starting in January. The company decided to offer a deal after the well-received match against Asuka at NXT TakeOver Toronto. Now, I would have liked to have seen it on Raw. Going to say that very quickly. Of course, the never-ending feud between Sasha Banks and Charlotte is never actually going to end. We've got an Iron Man match now at Roadblock, end of the line, because you must say end of the line. I'm personally of belief that it would have been nice to see Mickie James on the Raw side, purely because they haven't got enough women to go around. I mean, who's Bayley facing in the meantime? Nobody. SmackDown actually has options, and they've still got Eva Marie to come back. But it seems to me that when it comes to SmackDown, they have the more full women's division, even if perhaps they don't have the same quality as they do on Raw. But I am personally enjoying seeing Alexa Bliss as the SmackDown Women's Champion. I think that's a great move, and also great confidence putting the belt on her, because a lot of people didn't think it would happen. I didn't think it would happen. I think that her work since NXT has been fantastic, and I'm happy the fact she's been given the chance and given a go with the belt. I don't expect her to keep it long term, but at the same time, I'm happy that Bliss has got her chance. Maybe Mickie James may be facing her down the line, or maybe this is actually put in place so we can see Becky Lynch against Mickie James at WrestleMania. Time will tell. But anyway, moving on then, regards to indie promotions being on the WWE Network in the future, it's now been said by the Wrestling Observer newsletter that Vince McMahon is against the idea after he initially agreed to it. McMahon feels adding indie programming would increase costs on the network, but would not significantly increase the amount of subscribers. There's a belief that Vince McMahon may reconsider his decision at some point. Well, personally for me, as a wrestling fan, I would love to see it, because I mean, it's very hard to see some of the events that go out there and indie promotions and stuff like that. And I think really to have it on a platform like WWE Network would be amazing. I mean, can you imagine ROH? I mean, those events being on the network, you'd have a reason. There's an alternative as well for WWE fans. I mean, think of the people that are sick of the product that they watch on a weekly basis, Raw and SmackDown. You can go, of course, in the Attitude Era and go for ECW and WCW. What about something that's current? Why not go in it and see Final Battle or these sort of events, Best in the World? See athletes like Adam Cole, the Young Bucks. The rumours are WWE want these guys as well on the roster anyway, so these guys tend to be a feeder for WWE, so why not have them on there? Evolve being the same. I personally would love to see it. Of course, there's rumours of CZW as well. I'd love to see it happen personally, if you're asking my point of view, but it seems for the moment Vince McMahon is against the idea. Of course, as well as that, we're going to look at NXT TakeOver San Antonio. Now, there's been a few matches rumoured for this card at the moment. The NXT Championship, Shinsuke and Nakamura, of course, after finally seeing off Samoa Joe, especially in the steel cage match as well, which will be, I believe, aired on this week's upcoming episode of NXT, will be taking on Bobby Roode. The NXT Women's Championship, Asuka looks like she'll be facing either Peyton Royce or Billie Kay. It seems that Billie Kay seems a lot of the time in the relationship seems to be the upper of the two, so I would expect that to be the case. Maybe it could even be both. I mean, it'd be quite interesting to see a triple threat match for the Women's Championship. We've not seen a multi-women's match actually for a while on NXT, and that way as well, possibly. Asuka hasn't got to be pinned, so actually you might turn around and say it's not as obvious. So that could be kind of cool if that was to happen. But as well as that, the NXT Tag Team Championships of Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, DIY, they're better known as their team name, against the Authors of Pain, and I expect the Authors of Pain to walk away with the belts when it comes around to San Antonio. As regards of Nakamura and Bobby Roode, it's too early for me to say, but I will give a prediction when it comes around to Showtime for the San Antonio event nearer the time. Now, going on to WWE and the people they're looking to sign, apparently they're not looking for big guys right now. Several guys that attended a recent tryout camp were sent emails stating by the company that they're not looking to hire anybody who is heavier than 205 pounds for the time being. This totally goes against what the company was looking for just a couple of years back. Now, is it me or WWE really looking at the times and looking and seeing, well, they want to make the Cruiserweight division work. Now, I totally understand that. 205 Live, they really want to put some efforts in that. They've got to tweak it a little bit and make that show more appealing for people on the stay in the arenas and maybe people watching at home. But looking at it personally, I'm not against this because although I like to see some big guys in WWE, I don't want to see all these flyweights, heavyweights everywhere sort of thing. I want to see some of the big guys as well. But right now, I think that WWE, they've realised that it's different. You can be a star at any weight class. I mean, you've got to look back in the 90s. I mean, it seemed quite absurd that someone like Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, when they first got to the top, that they weren't 300 pounds like a Hulk Hogan or someone like this, and they were given the ball to run with it. And now the weight class has dropped even lower still, and it seems now people like Finn Balor really can get over. And these guys way back inside the Attitude Era wouldn't have been at the top of the card. They would have been Intercontinental title at best. So for me, I'm pleased by this news, and it shows that everybody has a chance. If you can wrestle and you can get yourself over, maybe, just maybe, you can be a big deal in WWE. Now, quickly coming back to the WWE Network, there was a very interesting article done by Vice Sports. They looked at the network, saying their total number of subscribers. The article claims that the network has amassed 4,587,000 total accounts since launching the platform back in 2014. Now, according to their findings, 3,076,000 accounts have since left the service, which puts the company at only 1.5 million subscribers. I think it's 1,511,000 subscribers. So basically, 67% of the accounts that were created were eventually cancelled. Now, looking at this, I mean, there could be many reasons why this actually could be the case as well. I mean, going back to the indie promotions, do WWE fans want to see an alternative? That could be a first thing. We're going back to where we were before. But going forward, the pay-per-views, they're not special anymore. I mean, look at Raw and look at SmackDown. How many pay-per-views are we getting a year? 19 or something like this. I believe 18 is the plan for next year. So, I mean, we're going to have perhaps 6 months where it's perhaps dual pay-per-views a month. And then we've got 6, shows of Raw and 6 months of shows of SmackDown as well. It's going to be total overload, and of course sometimes it's great to have a lot of content, but it gets to the point, do you care? I mean, can you keep up with it? I mean, do you just follow Raw? Do you just follow SmackDown? Let me know what you do in the comments below, because obviously I follow everything and it's very hard to keep interest in everything going on. There's like certain points where I just look at Raw and SmackDown and go, well, I'm interested in that bit and I'm interested in that bit, but it's a collective show. I don't have the time to be invested and care about it as much as I could. Things seemed a lot more better when you look at sort of shows back in the old days and say, well, there was like 4 pay-per-views a year. You had 3 months to build up. I mean, look at NXT right now, their takeovers. They have 5 takeovers a year. There's time and investment in each one of the storylines to, by the time you get there, everything seems to be clean, it's clear cut, it's purpose, and you're invested in what's going on. And there's time for you to care about it as well. And I think that that's what WWE is lacking. And unfortunately, that kind of means maybe the network isn't going to work for the time being, because WWE needs to get back to the roots of getting people invested in their television programs to begin with. And once they're invested in the television side of things, they'll be more invested in the network. Some of their one-off specials they do in these on-off series, they're fantastic. I like Breaking Ground. I like what they do with the documentary side of things. Those are personally brilliant. I love the fact that we can go back and watch old, pay-per-views from the past. But do you always have the time to go back to the old pay-per-views when there's so much new content being thrown at you? I'm not so sure. So at the moment, I think that is part of the problem with the WWE Network. Now, to just give you a bit of a news update, Bill Goldberg, now what he's scheduled so far for 2017 is expected on the first Raw on January 2nd from Tampa, Florida. He's also expected to be in the Cleveland at the Q Arena on January 23rd. So that is going to be the build-up to the Royal Rumble with Bill Goldberg on Monday Night Raw. I don't think he's going to win the Royal Rumble. I don't think Lesnar will win it either. I still think they'll be facing at WrestleMania 33. I think that's more or less a sure unlock. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Speaking of Raw, of course, the Raw and SmackDown pre-shows have been cut, really. Jerry Lawler's still going to be involved, it seems, in WWE. But Lita seems to have departed. Jim Ross made the following comments towards this, and saying that he was told that Lita and the King were both still in WWE despite not being on the pre-shows anymore. But Lita actually sent him a message on Twitter telling him that she was no longer with the company. I don't know if she opted out of her arrangement with WWE or if they decided to go in another direction. In any event, changes in the air as it relates to the expensive production of the Raw and SmackDown pre- and post-game shows. Now, I enjoy talking smack after SmackDown. I've noticed that Raw have not kept that going. As for the pre-shows, it seems to be now a 10-minute thing with Booker T, and I'm not sure of the name of the other guy. It escapes me at the top of my memory at the moment. But the King is expected to stick around and do some a Legends deal, still be involved with the Hall of Fame. Lita seems to be not involved with WWE right now, but maybe she just might come back at a later date. We'll have to wait and see when more information is brought out. Now, there's been a major shake-up in the creative team as well. Apparently, a key person involved with the recent push of the women was let go. The person has been identified as Tom Casilio. There's no other details on the situation for the time being. Now, personally for me, I'm going to give my viewpoint very quickly. I actually think the women's situation, yes, I've already said a never-ending feud with Charlotte and Sasha Banks is going on Raw, but it seems to be a bigger division on SmackDown. But I do think on the whole, when you look at the storylines, women have felt a lot more important on WWE, and at the same time, I do think some of their stuff that they've done has been, you know, the most newsworthy and most wanting to watch when it comes from a WWE standpoint. So I'm surprised at this, and I wonder where this is going to lead to going forward. I hope that the divisions are still going to be taken as seriously. But personally, for me, I want to see more of a shake-up in the men's division. I want to see more of a shake-up in how to utilise 3 hours on Raw, make it more exciting. I mean, SmackDown seems to have a bit more of a, you know, they are the same show ultimately, and SmackDown is just shorter, so maybe that's why it seems like it's better. But I just kind of feel that things feel more important. The Intercontinental title over the United States Championship, the tag team division over the Raw's tag team division. It's been, you know, dominated by the New Day, same as the women's division has been dominated by Charlotte and Sasha. We kind of feel you could say SmackDown, okay, Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch, but we've had, you know, where the belt was created and people have had to fight to get their positions on the card. Alexa Bliss now has the belt. Will it change back to Becky Lynch, but Mickie James has joined? What's going to happen? We know Eva Marie's going to come back in at some point, and Nikki Bella is still hanging around, and so is Natalya. So there seems to be feuds going all around the card in the women's division on SmackDown. I don't see it on Raw. Now, you could argue in turn and say they are the same show, but I would like to see just a bit more emphasis put on the main show of Raw, and I'd like to see that shake-up take place there. So Vince, if you're listening to this video, and of course, why wouldn't he be, make it happen. So that's all of the news, therefore, brought for you in one video right here. Subscribe if you haven't already to the channel, like and share the video, and you're probably going to see a pop-up come up in the next few moments about other videos you can check out here on SCW. So if you like this video, there's more for you to check out right now. But thank you very much for watching. Been good to have you on board as always. Take care, and of course there'll be another podcast coming next week, LEP Wrestling as well. That's going to be one of the people I'll be identifying for you and hopefully posting the video for you on Monday, so maybe give you an update which superstar it's going to be tomorrow, so look out for that as well. But subscribe, take care, and I'll see you next time here on SCW here on YouTube.com. Take care.